Now, there are many ingredients involved, and I'm going to go through every one of the ingredients. Coir or peat moss or leaf mulch, a half an ounce cup of diatomaceous earth. Don't put raw chicken manure, raw cow manure, raw rabbit manure. Need 2 inches of sand above the level of the dirt. And if you load this up with plants, at least
hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish.
well, hello. This is Father Fish. There have been 10,000 requests from faithful followers asking me to do a video showing precisely and exactly how to create the substrate in a Father Fish tank. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to create a substrate in a Father Fish tank. It's really quite simple. Now, there are many ingredients involved, and I'm going to go through every one of the ingredients. But let me show you first the simple way to do it. The very simplest way to do this is to go to Shopify, the Father Fish store, and buy a bag of supplement. We make it in 10-gallon, 20-gallon, and 50-gallon volume. You can use the 10 in a 15. You can use the 20 in a 29. You can use the 50 in a 55 or even a 60-gallon tank. It'll be perfectly adequate. If you have a 100-gallon tank, then you need to buy 2 of the 50-gallon bags. This is a 10-gallon bag. The way to do this is to open the bag, dump it in the tank. Very, very important to level it. Absolutely critical that it be completely and perfectly level. Then pour twice as much sand in. This will make approximately 1 inch of dirt in this tank. Pour sand in to make 2 inches of sand. And then put a plate or a plastic bag and fill it with water. That's all you need to do. It's really that simple. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different ingredients in Aqua Verde. Okay? 14 different ingredients. You can buy the bag that has them all in it and mix that with your own soil. The soil is 3 ingredients. Any finished compost, 1 part, 1 part potting soil, 2 parts coir or peat moss or leaf mulch or any other kind of organic material like that. Mix this in with it. The formula is right on the back. It takes actually 1/4 of a cup of this mixed with this for a 10-gallon tank. Now we're going to make it complicated. We're going to teach you how to do this by getting all of the supplies yourself. These are all of the ingredients. So we're going to do this. We're going to start with worm castings. The amount is by portions. 1 ounce cup of worm castings. a 1 ounce cup of biochar, a half an ounce cup of diatomaceous earth, a quarter of a cup, or an eighth of a cup rather, of baking soda, an eighth of a cup of Epsom salts mist, a half a cup of limestone, a quarter of a cup of ferrous sulfate, an eighth of a cup of mycose, that's fungus, a quarter of a cup of blood meal. Now these are all actually not cups, it's a quarter of an ounce actually, a quarter of an ounce of bone meal, an eighth of an ounce of bat guano, an eighth of an ounce of phosphate, an eighth of a cup of leonardite, a quarter of an ounce of clay powder. Okay, so we can put all of the elements that are in the little package in the tank. You can buy this, you mix it in with your soil to make enough dirt for 100-gallon tank. So this mixed with the soil will give you 100 gallons worth of substrate. We have in here now enough to do a 10-gallon tank. So what we're going to add to it is 2 parts peat moss, 1 part potting soil, and 1 part compost material. The peat moss is kind of a composted wood, if you will, but you can use coconut, ground coconut. You can use ground leaves, any kind of fine composted vegetable material. Tree material is best. Combine that, that's half of the components. A quarter of the components are potting soil. Any kind of potting soil, if all you can find has fertilizer in it, go ahead and use it. It's not going to hurt the thing. It's really not a problem at all. It can be from your garden. It can be right out of the tomato patch or the flower bed. Doesn't really matter. Just dirt is what you need. And then the third has a lot more enriched organic material in it. We use black cow because it's cow manure that is very well composted. You want a well composted material. Now, what you can also do is you can go out to a pond and you can dig up pond mud and use that as your compost. It's perfectly effective. It has everything that is needful. Now, don't put raw manure in there. Don't put raw chicken manure, raw cow manure, raw rabbit manure, nothing like that, because it'll burn everything up. It's too hot. It will literally burn everything. You want a well composted material. Here's what all of this does now. The first items that we put in are of an enrichment nature. They are adding to the natural components of the soil as we've compounded it. The purpose for this is to overcome one of the problems that Wolstead ran into that she described in her book, researching a soil-based aquarium. And it was very simply that it depleted and its nutritional value in about a year. This prevents that from happening because it adds into the initial mix nutrients, such as I went through on the list, that will last for literally 4 years. They will not be used up for years. I estimate up to 5 years. Now, the reality is, in 5 years, this entire system will be fully cycled. That means everything that has died, the plants, all of the waste, will have gone completely through all of its transitions, will have been consumed, reconstituted, taken up by the plants, grown into leaves and stems, died and returned to the substrate. The cycle will have been completed. It takes a long time for that to happen. It doesn't happen quickly. I'm going to mix all this up here with my hand. Now, we could put water in this. I'm not going to do it because it's messy and I'm not going to add water to this. I'm just showing you how to do the substrate. All right, now what I'm going to do, and this is really important, you can use a tool for this, but it is absolutely critical that this dirt be in here level. It must be level. It is critical that it be level. If it is not leveled, if, for example, you've got a mound right here in front, and you put 2 inches of sand across the rest of it, this is going to be under about 1/2 inch of sand, this little mound. Which means the minute you put water in, it's erupting through the sand into the water column. That's why it is critical that it be absolutely level. You can use a tool for this. There's a nice little gardening tool that has a flat edge. I don't have one here. I do it by hand because I'm pretty good. I use the back of my hand, pat it down, make sure that the corners are in. Now, if you want to, you can pull the front, run your finger along it, right along the front, and pull the dirt away from the front glass. I don't do that. I kind of like to see the dirt. There are others who don't. If you want to pull it away from the front, you can do that to give it a more, I don't know what, so you don't see the dirt. Okay. If you do it this way, you can do it really even, as opposed to just dumping the whole thing in, which has a tendency to move the dirt. Now, you can wet the dirt first. I have not done that for the last 20 tanks or so that I've created. And somehow, I think it's better, I'm not sure why, we need 2 inches of sand above the level of the dirt. It's going to take most of this bag, about 1 pound per gallon on average will do it. So in a 50 gallon tank, 50 pounds of sand will give you just about 2 inches. You want to double the amount of sand as there is dirt. Why is that? Because the dirt naturally rises up to the level of its depth. If you have 1 inch of dirt, it's going to come up into the sand 1 inch. 2 inches of dirt will come up 2 inches. So you want the sand to be double the depth of the dirt in order to keep the dirt out of the water column. That's the other critical issue. You don't want the substrate in the water, because if it is, a number of things happen. Number one, all of the nutrients leach out into the water. It becomes a necessity to do water changes because the water has far too much nutrient in it. It yellows out, it creates algae blooms, it's basically unhealthy for the fish. It just isn't attractive or productive. You want the water to be clear. You want it to be clean. The way to do that is to provide a precipitative element, namely the sand, in which whatever is in the water is able to precipitate out of the water into the sand. So in order to achieve that, you need limited motion in the water. I like to keep a sponge filter in the tank. And the reason is it creates flow. Not big flow, not major flow, light flow, small flow. A gentle flow. Enough for the water that's in the bottom to work its way to the top, where the CO2 can be exchanged for oxygen. That's rather important. Now, the plants are picking up some of that. Frankly, they're picking up a lot of it. And if you load this up with plants, at least half of the tank should have plants growing in it. So you want to get, for a 10-gallon tank, our bag of stem plants. There are 18 bundles of plants. That may seem like a lot, but you put 18 bundles of plants in here, you'll be amazed how much open space is left. It doesn't fill all that much. I mean, if you triangulate this, do 45-degree angles from both corners to the center, and plant these areas, 9 in each side, will pretty nicely fill up those areas. The whole front will be open. You can put some things in the front, smaller, shorter kinds of plants, but it'll give you a good, strong plant foundation, which will keep the water clear. It will exchange O2 for CO2. It will absorb ammonia directly. It will absorb nitrates directly. It will absorb nitrates directly. Plants are amazing miracle creatures in an aquarium. If you want to have fish in there, you gotta have plants. If you want to have fish and plants, you must have microfauna. Microfauna such as bacteria, fungus, microalgae, microscopic life like paramecium, rotifers, daphnia, little tiny worms. All of that makes it possible for this environment to be healthy. Without it, it cannot be healthy. People who say, I didn't want parasites in my tank, don't know what they're saying. 50% of all organisms, plant or animal, are parasitic. What is important to understand is that those parasites, 99% of those parasites are after each other. They are controlling each other. You control parasites with other parasites. In other words, with a diverse biological system. The more diverse it is, the healthier it is. How do you get a diverse system? You go out to a local ditch, a local pond, a local creek. You gather up a handful of leaves, dip some water, put the leaves in the water, bring it back, set it on the windowsill. If you do that for a week or two, up to a month, you'll be amazed how much life is in there. Be putting small amounts of that into your tank on a regular basis. And don't be afraid to do it. Your fish will feed on it. Your plants will thrive on it. It will be bringing life into the tank in a way you can't do with any kind of frozen or dried food. Now, you can do it with live food. How many of you use live food? Very few, I'm sure. If you do, then you have an awareness of the importance of what I'm saying. By bringing microfauna and macrofauna, microworm culture, feeds on those leaves. The leaves are the food for the microscopic life. When the leaves break down and are disappearing, you need to add more. That's food. Those leaves are food. Now, don't pull them off a tree. You have to get leaves that have fallen on the ground. The ones on the tree are full of sugar. And if you put too many of them in, it'll overwhelm the system with nutrients, namely sugars, which can easily foul your water. These microfauna, you can culture that going, and you're feeding all of your tiny fish. They have food naturally growing in the tank. This is a miracle. Do this right, and you will have a miracle in your home. You will be able to see nature at work. Well, what kind of plants? I've described that a little. What kind of fish? Start with simple fish. Live bears, mollies, platies, guppies. Start with tetras, small fish. Little fish that are not going to be aggressive. Little catfish are nice. They're wonderful, like the Cory catfish. Nothing big. Start with small fish. Zebra danios. The danios are wonderful little fish. And then as you watch these and learn more about them, your hobby will grow, your understanding will grow, and you will want to do more other kinds of things. This is where you start to learn and to grow. Do this for your very first tank. If you have 50 tanks, do it as your very first natural tank. And if you've already done one, you know all about this. Build a natural aquarium, and it will change dramatically your attitude, your experience, your joy of fish keeping. Be sure to plug into our resources. We have major resources available to you. Go to fatherfish.fish. We sell plants and fish. We have a physical store and online store. We have the Father Fish Show, a Discord channel that is utterly amazing. We solve all manner of problems for people. And coming soon will be a Patreon channel for the very serious fish keeper who wants to go deep, who wants to understand more, who wants to meet some of the great fish keepers and great hobbyists in the world. Join us. Be a part of this journey while I go answer the phone. Love you all. Bye for now.